President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine alangiridde mu lwatu mu lujjudde eno nno essaawa buli omu gy'abadde alindiridde kati nno General Kaguta Museveni yeesibe bbiri kubanga ekintu kyabise. Kansoke mukuwe President alangiridde bulungi nayo nga weewulirirako tutambule.
By the brother, and I'm glad that he said it again, but it was my intention to mention it today, that we intend to pay full, well-deserved respect to our brother by also painting his noble picture on our wall of martyrs, because it deserves it. Madam Deputy President, our Secretary General, our spokesperson and leader of our parliamentary team, our Mobilization Secretary, Madam Deputy SG, members of Parliament, members of NEC, fellow leaders in all capacities, I salute you. Allow me also to thank our very good friends, the Friedrich Naumann Foundation for Freedom in Africa, for making this engagement possible and helping us launch this drive. I want in a very, very special way to thank all of you, the leaders, but most importantly, you, the coordinators. My thanks should come from the lowest leader coming up. Thank you very much for the commitment. Thank you very much for the volunteering. And above all, thank you very much for risking. It's a very big risk for you to stand on the right side of history in this time and era. It is more of a death wish for you to stand against General Museveni, who executes people in cold blood and appoints and accounts to no one. But to see that you, comrades, put faith over fear, to see that you still envision a new Uganda, even where it is challenging, even where our odds seem insurmountable, I salute you very, very much. Thank you very much for standing for this cause. Now, while we are here, friends, we are a representation of very many people. I'm sure each one of you, every time you move in your constituencies, in your different regions, you find people this cause. This cause, we did not start it, ladies and gentlemen. No, it was started by our forefathers. Some people actually doubted General Museveni as early as 1986. Now they're proving themselves right. We were convinced by the lies of General Museveni. Our parents were. Some of us held him in very high regard. I mean, we have comrades amongst us who were named after Museveni. I always tell my friends I was named after Robert Mugabe because he was a prized revolutionary back then. When I was born, my parents thought that the person to name their child after was Robert Mugabe. See where he ended up. Our leader of opposition was named after Yoweri Museveni. But see what Museveni turned into. So this we did not start it, ladies and gentlemen. We are inheriting a struggle. We give credit to the great freedom fighters like Paul Kawanga Semogele, like Dr. Kizza Besigye. They started it. Our duty is to end it. That is what we must promise ourselves. Freedom in our lifetime, democracy in our lifetime, the rule of law in our lifetime, and we must achieve that by the grace of God. But even if we say by the grace of God, we must know in the Baganda culture they say Katonda ayamba yeyambe. God only helps those who help themselves. My mother used to teach me that God can only do for you what he can do through you. What God cannot do through you, he will not do for you. So it is your duty to let God help you using you. I'm very glad we are here and we all seem to understand that. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to drive the point that we, much as we are here, much as we are the National Unity Platform, we are actually not a political party. I know that sounds convincing, but I'm very serious. We are not a political party. We just have a political party. We are people power. We are the representation of those masses yearning for change. And we started out as a team of people, the men, the women, the young, the old, the educated, the uneducated, the city dwellers and the rural dwellers, all Ugandans from all walks of life come together with a vision of creating a nation, the same vision that was present at independence. The vision of our forefathers, creating a nation that would make life better and admirable for the next generation. We are that generation that was supposed to realize it. We've not yet realized it. That's why we're not giving up. So we are not as small as a political party. We are a representation of a cause. We are people power. We introduced the National Unity Platform as our political wing. And for us, the National Unity Platform is the organized wing of people power. The thoughtful wing of people power. The leading wing, the guiding wing of people power. Everybody out there is people power. We must never lose that. There have been so many political parties that have come up. There was the Democratic Party. It was a representation of democracy, the representation of the ideals of the people. You know how it ended up. There was the UPC, there was the FDC. You know how it all ended up. So we must not be another opposition political party. No, we are a cause. We have an agenda. We have a desire, we have a dream, which dream is not only limited to we the leaders, but a dream of the people of Uganda, the young and the old. So they are looking at us with a lot of hope, which hope we must never disappoint, ladies and gentlemen. So knowing that we are not just a political party, it should also inform us that this is actually not politics as usual. This is a revolution. It's not politics as usual. Because if it was politics as usual, we would be free people, freely doing what we are entitled to do under the law. But we cannot achieve that. So we must treat this as the real struggle that it is, as the revolution that it is. And we must not settle, especially with the leaders. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, a revolution or a struggle cannot succeed on only admiration alone, or on only the hope alone, or only the tiredness alone. Wherever you go, I was in Busoga yesterday, and you think the people of Busoga are the most tired, but go to northern Uganda, go to western Uganda, come to the central, they are thinking the same. Everywhere we go, there are masses and masses of people. Something that has not happened in our generation. There's so much power out there. But like one advert told us, power is nothing without control. Power is nothing without guidance, without direction. The Pan-Africans keep teaching us that we should not agonize alone. We should organize. Because the future belongs to the organized. If we don't organize, we will continue moving in circles. So you here are the organizing wing. There's so much power out there. There's so much support out there. But how do we harness it? It is like the rain. This thing out here keeps flowing rainwater. But if you don't put if you don't put gutters, the water will fall everywhere. But if you put gutters, we shall be able to guide our water to a tank or wherever we want that water. And ultimately, we shall harvest that water. the support that people have given us, that is their role. The chanting, the waving, the votes that they give us, and all the massive nationwide support, that is the wealth, that is the power that they give us. That is their role. What is our role? Is to bring it together, to harness it, to collect it, to make sure we bring it to a logical conclusion. What is that logical conclusion? Kicking out the dictator, but not only that, but building a new country, building a new leadership. Who are those leaders? You, nobody else. So we have a big duty to bring that resource together, that support together. That is our duty here. That is why we are organizing. Because you will go to Karamoja, you will go to Kuru, and you'll find young men and women, even old ones, supporting us massively. But if we don't find a way of harnessing that support, it will pass like that. That is why we are here. And we are organizing not only for an election. Yes, we are a political party that organizes for elections, that organizes for democracy, if there's democracy. But even with this deceitful semblance of democracy, we can maximize it when we organize, because ultimately, even if Museveni dies tomorrow, ultimately we shall go to the polls. Ultimately, there will be elections. Even if they do their crook business of the son trying to overtake the father, we shall finally keep both of them away, or the whole family. But even when they tell us that there was divine intervention and the entire house burnt up, still we will have to go to elections. That is why I am calling for constant organizing, so that when that time comes, whether it comes tomorrow or next week or next year, it finds us ready and organized. So you comrades are the organizing wing of us. Think as if we don't reach what we want to reach tomorrow, we'll die. But imagine that we are going to live forever, because this party is going to live forever. It's going to live beyond me, beyond you. It is for our children, our children's children, and the next generation of Ugandans, especially if we start it on a moral ground, if it's worth following. And that is possible, comrades. So let us organize our people. Let us organize them for two things: a revolution and a revolution. What do I mean? A revolution even before elections, because it's possible. But even when 2026 comes, before Museveni is kicked out, let us be ready to take him to the polls. Let us be ready on our side to ensure that every T is crossed and every I is dotted. So let us organize, organize, organize. Ensure that in your region, in your constituency, in your area of jurisdiction, there is absolute organizedness. I must add that we might organize, we might build secret structures, which Museveni vulgarizes all the time, but if we are connected with our people, then we can outsmart them. Like we have done in the past, we can do it even smarter and better and get better results than we got last time. So comrades, let's put the idea of organizing in our mind. I've already told you we have massive support, but you guys are the harvesters. Your duty is to harvest that support, because if we don't harvest it, then we are not doing a good service to our country. I want to call upon you leaders, especially you, the coordinators, the focal people, and the registrars. Avoid inviting. The Secretary General mentioned it, and I have to emphasize it, that we have been plagued with infights, sometimes brought in by prospective candidates. Oh, I want to run in this area, so nobody else should be working with the registrar or the coordinator. You are working for the people of Uganda. You are working for the party, not for an individual, not for a candidate. We have not selected candidates, and even when candidate selection comes, you know the process that we go through. So if you as a coordinator who is supposed to be serving other people, you reduce yourself to serving one person, that is corruption, and you know exactly how we deal with corrupt people. Comrades, it is important for us to build and not destroy. Let us learn from our recent experiences in 2021. I was in Busoga yesterday, and as we all saw, massive support. But have you asked yourself how we ended up not getting enough MPs from Busoga? Yes, there was massive rigging. Yes, for example, comrades like Master Walukamba, who are clearly rigged out with all ERA forms showing how she was rigged out. But also, the infight played a huge role. I'm requesting of you, comrades, when we go out there, we have a duty. Even if you individual yourself, you're not winning for yourself, you're winning for the people of Uganda and for your party. So let us learn from our history. We must do better in the future. I will remind you that now that we're tasking you out there officially, you are official targets of the regime to compromise, to intimidate, and to buy. You will remember that when we started the People Power Movement, before we had coordinators, we were like water. We were amorphous. The regime did not know where to touch. But when we announced our coordinators, then the regime, put aside a huge amount of money just to buy and compromise our coordinators. That is their modus operandi. It has never stopped. I can guarantee you that even by the end of this event, the regime will have started, encircling people to compromise. I've seen them compromising some of our leaders, some of our former leaders. Of course, some we had already doubted them and we leave them of their duties. But the regime wants to put a narrative that all of us are buying. I was even seeing a man that I used to respect, Mike Mokola, doing immoral things. Yes, you can buy the person, but you know as a leader that it is immoral and illegal for you to take over a registration book of a different political party. But Mike Mokola was proudly swinging his thumb with our register. Anyway, that's how immoral they are. I don't have to address them. I want to address you. Comrades, what the regime wants from you is not your support. All they want is your credibility. That is all they want from you. I'm very glad my unbelievably honest Deputy President told you that story. That's why Comrade Sassy was laughing. That's true. Because she was innocently thinking, she was called by Museveni when I was under house arrest. And said, but you are an elder. Come, let's talk about that young man's release. That's all she wanted is a president to be out. So she said, if me talking to Museveni will cause him to behave like a mature man, why not? Thank God, she's always consulting. She couldn't call me because my phones were off. She called the SG. That's when the SG reminded her. She said, oh. So some of you might even be innocently convinced, and you say, oh, let me just listen to what they're saying. Like some people in Soka were telling me that some of their leaders came to them and told them that they are going to see the president. And for them, they know one president. They weren't talking to you. Before long, they were before Mike Mokola. So be very cautious. All these people want is a picture with you, and that's it. All they want is your credibility. And you know what happens to all those people that sell out. Because this is not Chagulanyi's struggle. It is not a Rubongoya struggle. It is not a Senyanyi struggle. It is not a Kayamba struggle. It is a struggle of the oppressed people of Uganda. And when they see you selling out, you can imagine what they feel. I've told you many times that even if it's me, who you think people love so much, if I change my words, it would not take 24 hours and they will be looking at me like a corner ponder. So please be true to the pain of the people, to the trust of the people. Trust is the most important thing that you have as a leader. And hope is the most valuable thing that you carry on behalf of your people. Imagine what people would think of you. So comrades, this, I cannot overemphasize on that. But, I mean, you know that after they take your credibility, you won't have any difference from these, although rich, but people that have zero respect. The Mukulas of this world, the Nabanjas of this world, the Palams of this world, etc., etc., etc. Comrades, I've talked about this, I've talked about that, I've reminded you of how we are the embodiment of the aspirations of the people of Uganda. And you out there, we are charging you to go there and be the representation. You are NUP there, you are People Power there, you are Chabrani there, you are all of us there. Go there with full confidence because we are standing with you. You are representing us. We look at you very proudly. Don't undermine yourself. Don't think of yourself as any less. If you doubt, see how the regime is going to be fearing you in your so-called smallness. You might think you're a small man or woman, but the way the regime is going to be looking at you, the way the regime is going to be fearing you, but most importantly, the way the regime is going to be trying to befriend you and compromise you, that should tell you of how important you are. It is at this juncture that I want to announce that we are soon going to be starting the phase 2 of our nationwide tour, and we are coming to you. We are coming to you not technologically, physically. Those in Mbale, we are coming to eat Malewa. Those in Western Uganda, we are coming to eat Shabo. Those in Jinja, we are coming to eat Maido. Those in Central Uganda, we are coming to you. Everywhere we are coming to you physically. So please go and set the ground. Go and make preparations. We are coming to turn that constituency upside down. We are coming to them. So with those few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite the Secretary General. And I want to say that I hereby launch the nationwide membership registration drive, and let's get to work.
Tujja sawa yiyo tewachali kulanga kulala. President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine alangiridde nation countrywide tour phase 2
as the first person, but he and his friend have insisted that I take the honors, and I will oblige. Thank you very much.
Kati nno enteekateeka za kujjako General Kaguta Museveni ebyaddala ebyalaali watali kumala budde, watali ku wasting time name. Ebigambo bya president mbiwulidde bulungi. Wenna wooli yonna gy'osinzidde bitambuze. Lwaki obitambuza? Kubanga kikkakatako okwongera okuzuukusa obwongo bw'abantu abalala 100 abakugoberera oba bakuli wonna wooli bamanye nti tulina omulimu munene ogw'okujjako nakyemalira, nti tulina okuba nga twetegese. Walwadde bagamba mbu ate Kyagulanye agamba okubeera mu byakalulu tukajjako Museveni. Muganda wange kati Museveni bw'afa olwaleero akubuuziza ekibuuzo, in case God forbid afa olwaleero n'akutuuka ne bagamba Museveni akutuse, nga toli ready, teweetegese kulondebwa kugenda mu bukulembeze. Onoolondebwa tebalondebwa n'ayola ekintu kyaffe. In case bagamba mutabani we alina ataka mutabani we, in case abanga yakakimukwasa bwe bati ne kiyiika mu ttaka bwe ani anakiyoolawo nga temwetegese. So President agamba nti let's be ready, tubeere more than ready, nga mu mbeera yonna bambeera ki obuyinza budda mu mikono gy'abantu so si mu mikono gy'abantu balala gy'abatemu, wabula nga buddirawo mu mikono gy'abantu bwepala nga tubiyolerawo nga tubulina otereze eggwanga lyaffe. So President kyali mu kwogerako, kyali mu kutembeta gwe nategedde just nkugiremu ako kantu katono nnyo otegeere nti tubeere beeteefuteefu okuyoola obuyinza bw'abantu singa ekintu kyonna kibeerawo. Bwe tuba twekalakasizza it's fine, ne bwe muneekalakaasa ne mugoba Museveni n'agenda walina okubaawo okulonda. Kati anaba yeeteeseteese obulungi nga tumaze okukalakasa ne tujjako Museveni yajja okubeera President wa Uganda oba munfuna. So tojja gamba tuneekalakaasa ng'oli atuula mu ntebe Budunga alayira nedda ssebo, tulina okugenda mu kalulu ne tulonda. Kati anaba teyeeteeseteese olaba omumala okusindika endodo ne mugikuba ennimiro y'ekigobe baba naye nga temweteeseteese mu kulondebwa. Omulala yeeteeseteese n'ajja neesimbawo bwe n'akubali akakintu namma mumaze ebiseera byammwe bwereere. So President kyali mu kugamba nti let's be ready for our power. Kashitaire ndozo kitegedde kati ye kaadi eyo gy'atongozza kugenda kuwandiika bannakibiina si bawagizi, kuba abawagizi tubalina ne twagala bamemba ab'ekibiina abalonzi kati betwagala agambye nina kaadi yange nina okulonda Kyagulanyi, nina okukuuma akalulu kange ng'omuntu alina kyeyasinzirako okukuuma akalulu era okukalwanirira at any cost. So President Bwaka bwatuwadde leero era ge mawulire gayimiriddeko ffenna ge tulina okutambulirako, ge tulina okubeerako nga tutambuza nti sawa ya kuyigga balonzi, sawa ya kuyigga bakuuma kalulu, sawa ya kuyigga balwanyi, era gwe nange n'oli ffenna kye tukwakatako okulaba tutereeza eggwanga lyaffe lino era nga mulimu gwaffe tukola mbeera ki oba mbeera ki tulina okubikola. Mbagala nnyo mwenna abaliko abataayi mwe bali kubaako Dunda Lugaba Namugereka gwe nsaba abakuumire taata tujja kuba tuddamu ebigambo okubigamba bw'anabakkiriza. Bataayi mweraba.